thank you so much for joining us today. Before we do kick this off, I do want to point out to the audience that we welcome questions. Please post them in the Q&A section at the bottom of your screen. We will address those questions at the end of today's discussion. So I'd like to now turn this over to Steven Saltzstein, Force Family Office's CEO.
Thank you, Callie, and thank you everyone for joining us today. We really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule. We're going to have a robust and fascinating conversation led by Barry Sine. I'm going to step out, but Barry, do you mind just beginning telling people about yourself and your firm, and then you could go and have the conversation with Leandro and Alvaro.
Okay, but first I want to thank Force Family Office for setting this up. I think it'll be very interesting. And let me kick in. So I'm an equity research analyst. I've covered the industry for about 30 years. So I know a lot of companies in the telecom space. And my current firm is a firm called Litchfield Hills Research. Our website is hillsresearch.com. You can go there and read any of our reports free, including on this company. So I want to, just jump in. So good afternoon, Leandro. Thanks for joining us. You have three integrated, very synergistic businesses. So I want to start off by talking about each of these businesses. And the first one, obviously, is the biggest and oldest business that you've been in the industry for quite some time, which is your telecom business. You have a very unique, high return on investment strategy. When most investors think about the telecommunications industry, they think about companies like AT&T or Verizon. Those companies have hundreds of billions in assets, and every year they have to spend billions of dollars in capital spending to upgrade. You don't. You're an asset-light company with lower CapEx requirements, very low, and a very high return on investment. Those companies directly sell their services to businesses and consumers. You don't. You're a wholesale provider selling to about 600 telecom carriers globally, carrying international voice and text message traffic. Could you please explain more about this business, how you built it, and what the outlook is, for growth over the next year or two?
Thank you. Thank you, Barry, for this opportunity to talk. Thank you, Steven, for this great opportunity that you set the plate for this. Well, Barry, basically, this started when 17 years ago, we realized that the large telecommunications carriers, we identified the need that they had at that time is to focus on the end users in the enterprise and people to serve them, instead to create interconnection base around the world. So with this in mind, we create this company offering the large telecommunications carriers the potential service to connect around the world and allow them to focus on their end users. And that's the starting point for this. So our company offered them the possibility to deliver voice and text messages around the world, giving connectivity to all the countries in the world. And they only have to connect with our platform and need to integrate the billing system, the accounting process, the technical network. And sometimes it takes years, 1 to 2 years, and sometimes takes months, depending on the companies and the complexity of the networks and the complexity of the billing system that they have. But that's what's the need that delivers our service. Giving them the opportunity to focus on the end users, and we take care of all the international needs to deliver voice and SMS services. And this business is business that we have scaled our company initially by our own, and over the last years we have been acquiring company and became in a roll-up company, acquiring other companies. And that's the secret sauce of the telecom business. Every time that we acquire a company, offer new products and services, new scope, new footprint. And this is, nowadays, We have operations across 21 countries, and we are interconnected with around the largest 600 telecom operators around the world. That's basically our core business that we have in the telecom arena.
Okay, and you've built that up through a series of acquisitions. So you have, correct me if I'm wrong, give me the numbers. About 600 telecom carriers you provide services for, and you provide traffic to almost every country in the world. And what you're carrying are voice conversations, and you use the term SMS. For those that are not familiar, that's short messaging service. We call it text.
Correct.
So if somebody in Nebraska wants to send a text message to somebody in the Philippines, there's a good chance that IQSTEL is handling that traffic, that text.
Correct. The service that we provide for, listen, our customers, let's say few of our customers, companies as Verizon, as T-Mobile, Telefonica, Telecom Italy, China Telecom, British Telecom, the largest telecom company. So if you are an end user of them, suppose that you are end user of Verizon, and you try to send a text message or a voice call, there is a high percentage of likelihood of this call, of this message, using our network to terminate around the world. So that's the service that we provide. So the largest telecommunications companies around the world send us to our platform the voice and SMS and the text messages, and we take care of that. We aggregate all the traffic around the world. Our system operates guarantee the quality of service and the faster connectivity, and the accurate of the billing process, and the carrier at the large telecommunication company doesn't take care of any of all the technical details, all the regulatory things, because in some countries you have to meet some regulatory aspect that we cover for them. So that's the secret sauce. They can focus on their end user while we take care of all the international voice and text services.
Okay, that's great. I want to move over. You're also in the fintech business, financial technology, and you did your first acquisitions there of a company called Globetopper, that sells prepaid cards. It's very synergistic with telecom because you can sell to the same group of telecom carriers you already have on a wholesale basis, and the business is all digital. Can you explain more about your fintech business and the outlook for that business?
Sure. Globetopper is a company that offers gift cards around the world with the largest brands in the world. Let's say Amazon, IKEA, all the brands. So, but in addition, we can offer gift cards and top-up services to the large telecommunications customers. So the end users of each mobile operator has needs to buy gift cards, and we can provide the service, and we can create a specific gift cards for them, for the user, for their market. So the idea of this, the vision that we have here, is not only offer what other companies could offer, is try to tailor a solution for the large telecommunications customer, because sometimes it's like a very unique culture proposal that we have to add about the names, the brands, and everything. So it's very unique, the capabilities that we have with Globetopper, and it's the same. When we started with this vision, we have built a fantastic business relation with the large telecommunications companies, offering them services and creating a trustworthy credit history with them, selling millions of dollars. And the most difficult part we already did is that be in the company, in the customers, selling products and service, exchanging millions of dollars. So what we are right now in the process to selling more services to the same, using the same business platform, the same relation. They trust in us, and we are starting to selling services. That's the idea with Globetopper. Start serving gift cards to our customers. And this is a company that we have huge plans. We are going to scale this company and growing the revenue in around 2, almost 3 times. And this is the process that we are right now, scaling the business of Globetopper. So we are really excited with this acquisition and the value added that is bringing to our commercial team, talking about other things.
Let me add something about Globetopper, because it's not only the purpose of acquiring that company was not only having the possibility to incorporate fintech services to our platform and to our portfolio and to offer these kind of solutions to our customers, or for our customers to develop some services for their end users that they have. We also acquired Globetopper because they have a knowledge of how to manage a payment solution for retail services. So if we want to enter anytime in the future in the retail market, or the development that we are doing with our digital services, then we will need to incorporate some kind of payment solutions for the end user. So we were also acquiring the knowledge of Globetopper in that area. It's not that was the mix of the reason that we looked at to Globetopper.
And just for the viewers, Alvaro is the Chief Financial Officer of the company. And neither one of you mentioned my favorite part of that acquisition, which is that it brought in significant revenue and it was already EBITDA positive. So that business from day one has been generating EBITDA, has been to the company.
Correct. That's right.
And as I say, as an analyst, that was my favorite part of the acquisition. The next. Did you have a comment, Alvaro?
No, go ahead, please.
The third part of your business is something that's very, very hot, which is artificial intelligence. You've announced recently the introduction of 2 AI products that serve the global call center market, using AI to improve the end customer experience, but also reduce costs and increase the return on investment for the call center operator. And again, this can be sold globally, digitally, through your network of existing customers. So very, very synergistic. And again, one of the things I liked about this business is many of your other businesses, you had to give up cash or issue stock to acquire them. The AI business you developed internally. So again, a nice return for shareholders with that. Can you gentlemen please speak about the AI business? What are you doing? And then how is that synergistic with the other 2 parts of the business?
Sure. Listen, we started this division like a research and development division for the company, because we truly believe that we need to, create our own technology, focus on the services and the products that we have. And we started exploring things on the metaverse space, and moved like 2 years ago to AI. And we decided to move to AI with the idea to create products and service on the telecom side. How can we improve and enhance the service in the telecom arena for our customers, in order to give something that nobody in the telecom arena are giving to our customers, giving us a competitive advantage. So we have created solutions based on AI and our, own development, and with our proprietary development for them is to AI agents that can talk, can interact by email, SMS, WhatsApp, calls, text, all kind of ways to the customers, and support the customer and support the customer, giving a better service to their own customers. So let me put an example, because this is a very easy way to understand. We can put our agents in a company that supposes launching a marketing campaign, and they have the standard marketing campaign has a call center with X amount of positions, let's say 100 positions. But maybe your marketing strategy is too effective, and maybe you got, I don't know, 500 calls trying to reach you, and you only have 100 positions in your call center. What's going to happen is that you have a queue of 400 calls trying to getting back to responding to your marketing campaign. So what we are doing is putting AI, answering the call, taking care of the customer, start the conversation, and after pre-qualification, just passing the call to a human agent. So the idea is to take an advantage of this potential scalability of the service, and offering, to cover the peaks of demands with AI. And in addition, you can have 24/7 services, no matter the time zone, no matter the holiday, no matter is Sunday. So it's very efficient. In that sense, we have been creating products and services, not only AI services, not only AI agents. We are in the process to launch next week a couple of additional services that we have created, and we already launched it in the market, and we officially are going to introduce to the telecom space in the next event in the ITW in Washington in 2 weeks. But basically, we have started to gain traction with some customers, and offering the new services. And our R&D department is really excited about the potential service that we have created, of the things that we have created, and how those things have been received by the market. We started to getting orders and starting the delivering of that services. And the beauty of this is a high margin service. We're talking something about 40% of gross profit. And this is fantastic for gross margin. So it's fantastic for the company, because we not only we're generating new revenue stream, we're generating new revenue stream with high margin. That is part of the strategy that we have. But listen, just talking about fintech and talking about AI is part of a bigger strategy that we want to discuss a little bit later on during this conversation.
Okay. But I think you've just teased everybody's curiosity. So we've covered those segments, and as you say, they're each interesting in and of their own, but they're part of a larger strategy. What I see as an analyst is they're all asset light, so high return on investment. They're all digital, so easier to deliver. They all can be sold to that same existing customer base of 600 major telecom carriers globally. So you've set up the question, why don't you now put all those together with a grand strategy?
Well, sure. Listen, Alvaro and I were talking some time ago about, how is the coincidence. When we started this company together, we identify a market niche to offer to the customers the possibility to giving international connectivity to allow them to focus on the end user. So that was the initial need that we identified to create this company. Nowadays, we identify another need, that is that the current customers, they have end users, and they need to increase the revenue per user, offering more services. What I'm saying is that the mobile operators already have an user, and they're trying to sell to that user more services, more quality services, and try to differentiate the commercial proposal, the commercial approach against the competition in country, offering more services. And the idea is to becoming, thanks to the commercial platform that we have and the experience that we have, in a one stop shopping to them to offer digital services. So we are going to launch over the next days, next week, the foundation of a new subsidiary that is going to catering all the digital services that we are offering. And digital services for us is going to be fintech, it's going to be AI, it's going to be cybersecurity, and we are entering in the digital health arena. And we are going to create a commercial department focused on that. Already the CEO of this division already has experience selling those kind of services to the mobile operators in Latin America, and he is going to expand this experience into another part of the world. So basically, that we are going to have is, our core business is going to keep scaling, growing, improving, but at the same time, these digital services under this umbrella, all the services that we are going to offer with high margin, high return, high technology services with one umbrella, with our brand, and taking advantage of that the customer have a credit trustworthy with us and start selling them services. And that's the idea, So everything that is not going to be our telecom legacy services is going to be under this umbrella that is digital services. And and this is a dynamic process, as ongoing process to add in products and services. And we already started.
Barry, let me add something about it here. All the development that we have been done during the last 2-3 years in cybersecurity, AI services, fintech, all these puzzles that we are putting together is not with the 600 customers that we have, or not only for the 600 customers that we have right now. We have been developing this with the end users in mind. And let me give you a figure. Those 600 carriers, companies we are interconnected with that right now are our customers and providers, they serve 2.3 billion users around the world. And the services we are developing is for those telecom companies and carriers to enrich their portfolio of services with those 2.3 billion end users in mind. So that's the beauty of this. So it's not 600 customers. We are not preparing the company to sell services to 600 customers. We are preparing our services and our platforms to be able to serve 2.3 billion end users through our current customers. Because the main issue and the main challenge that any mobile operator in the world has today is something that Leandro mentioned, that what is increasing the revenue per user. So they have to start creating new services, new offers, because they are not going to increase their revenue per user just selling voice, SMS, or new mobile phone numbers, phone devices. I mean, they have to put services and apps and many things into that ecosystem for their users to increase the expenses and the bills they are paying. So that's basically what we had in mind, and that's our offer. That's the solution we're offering to our customers right now, to the telecom operators.
Okay, that's an excellent point. And I just want to underscore, something Leandro said a minute ago, which is cybersecurity services. And you have a partnership with a company called Cycurion, ticker symbol CYCU. And it's not just a resale, it's also a overlapping share ownership agreement. So a very strong partnership. And again, I've published a research report on that so investors can look at that company. And then you also have recently announced services in digital health. We don't have the details yet. You promised us details coming up on those services, but that gets you into even additional services. And my prediction is that as investors follow this company over time, we're not going to stop there. This is a management team that's going to come out with more and more and more high value, high margin services.
Correct.
I want to turn the next question to Leandro. You've mentioned a couple of times, you've used the term secret sauce to mention different aspects of your company. I'm getting hungry for a Big Mac when you keep saying that, but I want to digress. Leandro, I consider you to be the secret ingredient to this company, and I think your background is really relevant and really important to investors. At one point earlier in your career, you were a senior executive with a telecom company called CanTV. CanTV is the national telecom carrier in the country of Venezuela. And Venezuela is probably the hottest investment country in the world today, with companies flocking to the country to invest again now that it's opened back up. In your job, you were dealing with telecom companies around the world, and you've retained those relationships and you continue to leverage them. The investors may not realize it at the time, but at one point, Venezuela was one of the most successful economies in the world, with some of the highest per capita GDP in the world, a very successful country, and presumably it'll get back there. I know a little bit about Venezuela on CanTV. I worked on the IPO when I was at UBS back in the 1990s. And I recall it was a very technologically advanced company, and one of their major investors was Verizon. Maybe you can tell us more about your background and how you continue to leverage those contacts in your background for both acquisitions, and the company has been very acquisitive, as well as customer wins. You started at ConTV dealing with all these global carriers, and now you're doing all of this for the benefit of IQST shareholders. So could you elaborate on that, Leandro?
Yeah, sure. Listen, I used to be the international business manager for CanTV. I was responsible for the voice and SMS text services, internet connectivity, satellite connectivity, and roaming services for CanTV and MobileNet. At that time, CanTV was a company, just to put an example, was like a show window for the telecom industry in Latin America. Was the largest telecom company, with the largest fiber optics. I used to lead a commercial interconnection in fiber optics between Colombia and Venezuela. And listen, after 6 years in that company, I gained a very deeply relationship with the largest telecommunications customers around the world. That was my starting point with the company at that time. So basically, over the years, all the business relations that started at that time have been developed over the years and created the network, the business network that we have right now. And over the years, we have been, in connection with several companies around the world doing business, huge business in some cases. And we have been selected what are going to be the best partners to us in order to have the same vision, the same focus, the same ethic, doing business and everything. And we have been acquiring these companies. And that's the story behind those acquisitions. Are people that have been working with us for several years that have their own companies, and we know very well that how is the culture behind the company. So to be completely honest, even today we are gathering, all the seed that we plant in that time, and all the knowledge and all the business relations. But as I said, for me, it was a fantastic starting point because CanTV was unique at that time in Latin America. It was like as I say, a show window for Latin America. And the second company in Venezuela in that position was a company named Digitel, that was a subsidiary of Telecom Italy, where Alvaro used to work on. So basically, this is how we started the the relationship between our partnership and our friendship and Alvaro and I.
And you and Leandro, you and Alvaro are both from Venezuela, and probably still very proud because Venezuela just won the World Baseball Classic, beating the United States and Shohei Ohtani out of Japan. So the best baseball team in the world. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I want to wrap up with the financial picture.
However, let me tell you something, because 11 years ago we took the decision to become our company in a global company, and this was at that time we decided to move to Spain because Spain is like in the middle of the war, and right now I have been living in Spain for 11 years. So, but was a strategic vision. We have to get closer to the European and Asian market. And this is the reason why we moved to Spain 11 years ago. So I haven't been living in Spain for the last 11 years.
Okay.
So nowadays I'm more like a soccer guy than a baseball guy. So we can talk about soccer for the World Cup that is coming too.
We'll save that for the next call after Venezuela wins the World Cup at FIFA.
Correct.
I want to wrap up with my last question, and then we can turn it to others for questions on the big financial picture. So you guys have given some financial estimates out. Your business has both organic growth. You have now 5 businesses that are all growing nicely organically. You continue to be active in acquisitions, and I think you've said we'll probably see two more acquisitions this year. So how will all of this let you achieve your targets? Maybe you can remind investors what your targets for revenue and EBITDA are. And then on EBITDA specifically, you're integrating the acquisitions, and Alvaro, you called out in the most recent quarter that we're seeing more intercompany traffic. So one of acquired subsidiary is carrying traffic for another one, whichever one has the lowest cost to route that traffic. So we're seeing more of that. And then we're also moving to an integrated software platform. I think you're doing voice first and then the text messaging next. But if you tie that all together, what's the big picture financially for investors in terms of both revenue and EBITDA?
Okay, let's split this answer into parts. Let me answer the first part as CEO and let them to talk to Alvaro as CFO, okay? Because I think Alvaro has, is the wizard behind the scenes creating everything. So listen, the best way to understand this company is, this is a company that's running 2 avenues, okay? The first avenue is growing our legacy business, our telecom business, improving the EBITDA and the bottom line and creating synergies. And in this avenue, we have 2 major things that we are going to accomplish. The first one is that we are acquiring the minority interest in several subsidiaries to take the control of about the 95% of our revenue and our EBITDA, having the 100% of the control of that. Right now, we are controlling around the 60% of our revenue and the EBITDA. That means that we have subsidiaries that having 49% that are contributing with a part of the EBITDA, but we are not control the 100% of the company. So this is the first stage on this avenue. The second stage is that we are going to acquire at least 1 or 2 companies in order to increase our footprint, adding companies in the Africa continent and adding the EBITDA around with the first one between $5 to $6 million EBITDA, with the second one about another $5 million EBITDA. So with this minority interest, we are going to jump our EBITDA of the telecom, of the legacy telecom, between $2.7 million to around $4 million, because we are going to introduce synergies, reduce costs, etc. And with the 2 acquisitions, with the African company acquisition, we're going to increase $5 to $6 million EBITDA, and we are going to be around $9 to $10 million in total. And we have another target company that is able to add on another $5 million. So just this avenue is going to giving us around something between $10 million with one acquisition to $50 million with two acquisitions. At the same time, we are running another avenue, that is the digital services. The digital services is something that we are working, and we have been working on this, starting getting traction, offering high margin services, high technical services, as fintech, as cybersecurity, as AI, and digital health. So what we are trying to do is working in a platform that, the revenue is not going to be huge, but the gross margin is going to be very important, around 40%, 45%. So our plan over the next 3 years is that the contribution of the digital services is going to be in the order of millions and tens of millions. So our idea is that, the telecom, our legacy in telecom is going to produce 10 to 15 million, and our digital services is going to jump this number to 25 millions and to 30 millions and 35 million over the next 3 years. So this is an important bet that the company is doing. It's a very ambitious plan that we are doing. But the best way that like elevator pitch to talking about the company, we are becoming our company from a telecom legacy in a high-tech distribution channel for the telecom industry to reach 2.3 billion end users. And the beauty of this is that every time that we start selling products and services, the potential scalability of the business is huge. And in these digital services, the income are recurrent. That is very nice, high margin, so it's perfect. So every time that you started with the selling, is something like a snowball. It's growing and growing and growing. And that's the story behind, our plan, our vision over the next 3 years. Keep working on the telecom legacy, but at the same time, accelerating the service and digital services. And next week, we are going to introduce the CEO of this division and talking about the plans and the launching of the products that we're going to have in 2 weeks in the International Telecom Week in Washington. So that's at the business perspective. But Alvaro, you are the wizard behind the numbers.
Oh, but only to add regarding that we have been doing some benchmarking, because to compare our company to other peers that are more or less in the same business that can be compared to us or us to them, and companies like IDT, which is another publicly, they are in the New York Stock Exchange. When you compare the services and the product that we have and to them, it's basically the same company, very similar, but they work in another scale. So what we are looking here is to increase rapidly our revenues and our EBITDA, because those entities like IDT are the market cap is 10 to 20 times EBITDA. So our strategy with the merchant acquisitions is not only to increase revenues, is not only to add new customers or to have presence in new markets, but also to take the company to another level, so that the market could start, recognizing those figures. So once we reach to a 10 million, 15 million EBITDA per year, and if you do the math, 10 times EBITDA, that will be the market cap of the company, which is going to be huge compared to what it is today. And the merchant acquisition campaign is just to accelerate that process.
Just to put it simple, we are not reinventing the wheel. So basically, we are scaling the company in order that we entering in this kind of valuation, around 10 to 20 times EBITDA. And in this process, our company is going to, increase rapidly the market cap of the company and the business return for our shareholders. That is the important. So because this is why we are, pressing the pedal full speed in order to scaling the company as quick as possible to start giving the market opportunity to view us with different eyes and start giving the similar valuation to us.
Okay, that's excellent. Let me turn it over to the Q&A for audience.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So from an acquisition standpoint, what type of companies are you looking for your next acquisition? And how do you avoid dilution or integration risk?
Very good. Well, listen, the first target acquisition that we are on mind is a company that we have been working with them in detail, doing the due diligence over more than a year. And, we know perfectly what is the culture of that company. This is a company that's going to add 8 countries in Africa. So basically, the companies that we are looking at this time are companies that are adding a huge portion of positive EBITDA, very important footprint that we don't have, and have the same culture and the same vision to integrate digital services over the customers that they have. So basically, this is like the first part of the strategy. The second part of the strategy, when you are talking about dilution, we have been, using equity to raising funds over the years. But if you see metrics as revenue per share or shareholders' equity per share, every single time that we acquire a company and we issue shares, the total result is that the equity per share is growing every single year, and the revenue per share is growing, and that's the metric. So even though if we are going to need to issue shares to pay the acquisition, at least of part of the acquisition, all the metrics, we use the funds to increase the metrics. So the business value of the company is growing, always growing. But at the same time, in the process that we are gaining traction and growing the company and growing the EBITDA and everything, the potential resource for funding are increasing, and we have been talking with commercial banks. So at this point, the company is going to have not only options for using equity for raising funds. We have been talking with banks, and and we are going to try to do the best for the company and in the best efficient way to improve the shareholder value.
Great. And can you give a little update on cash runway, burn rate, and before you would need to look at further financing options, or do you see a capital raise in the future?
Sure. Listen, our company, when you see our business, our telecom business, basically, is telecom that is EBITDA positive and net income positive. And the total net income that the company is producing is big enough to cover the basic expenses of the PUBCO and having an extra of that. Of course, a company like a PUBCO have sometimes expenses like interest that pay for loans and and some derivative liabilities or other non-recurring expenses that change a little bit the picture. But structurally, our telecom business is healthy enough to cover the basic services to maintain the PUBCO. But Alvaro, you can explain a little bit more about this and what is the situation about the company and the burn cash and everything.
Sure. So, as Leandro said, when you put together our subsidiary, our operating subsidiary, yes, you see the free cash flow that they generate, the EBITDA, the net income, all numbers are positive. So of course, we has been our merchant acquisition campaign has created some financial costs for the company during the last 3 years, and that's basically what put the company into a negative field when it comes about the P&L. But when you see the balance sheet and you see how our assets has been increasing, how our net shareholders' equity has been increasing. In 2008, the company has less than $2 million in net shareholders' equity. Our net shareholders' equity today is around $15 million. So in that process, we have been creating value, and we have been, we have a very solid foundation for what we have been building from the financial perspective. Working capital is positive. Working capital of the company is positive, and we are creating a good free cash flow from our operations.
Thank you. If investors are looking for asymmetric upside but want downside protection, what gives IQSTEL staying power?
I would say that the upside is how undervalued the company is in our perspective. Yes, so getting today into IQSTEL by buying some shares on the market, on the open market, and put aside those shares will give you an upside very, very soon, I believe. It's our belief. So the company, we consider is undervalued based on all the metrics, based on all the results that we have been showing during the last few years, and mostly based on the business vision and the plan and the execution. So and our bases are very strong. Our business fundamentals are very strong. So I'm not allowed to say that you should invest in our company, but yes, I think it is a good opportunity to get involved in IQSTEL today.
Let me give another approach that just to let you something, every couple of years, Alvaro and I have been converting part of our salary in shares of the company. So we truly believe that the company has a brilliant future because part of our salary more than once has been converted in shares of our company. So we are investing in our company in long run. But more than this, that is important is, when you analyze this company and you see that our market cap is 8 million, and you have in front of you a company that has a potential reach of 2.3 billion of end user for digital services, what is going to be, forget it about the revenue, EBITDA, what is going to be the potential of this company to start selling products and services? Let's say, a reach of 1% of 2.3 billion end users. And is a huge potential of this company. So the potential upside of this organization is huge. And, and we are really sure that, sooner than later, the market is going to react positively and see what is the company that we have. Right now, we have like 27 investment banks in the company, having the 5% of the institutional investors having the 5% of the company without almost any introduction to the market and everything. So we truly believe that this is a compelling opportunity for the investors to join to our journey and create this corporation.
Okay, thank you very much. And we are running out of time. So I do want to point out to the audience, first, thank you for the great questions. And
thank you.
And secondly, if you want to be connected to the team here, everyone has my email address. I'm happy to facilitate that. In turn, their IR team and team will have all of your information, and I'm sure we'll be reaching out as well. And Barry, we want to thank you so much for, diving in to the company and giving your insight and leading this discussion. And so I just want to say thank you, everyone, and everyone have a great day.